Welcome back to Tucson Now. Join with us once again live. It is Catherine Patterson with a little update of a story that we brought you, what was it, maybe a week or two ago now?
It was actually a week ago today. Yeah, because
Wow.
it's Thursday.
Okay.
Time really, really flies.
Yeah, so there have been some updates here. You've talked to some additional family members regarding the story that we brought about a week ago. But first, let's go ahead and get a brief overview in case somebody missed it.
Yeah, so it was a week ago. It was an industrial accident that happened in Pima County, kind of the northeast side of Tucson, right outside of the Tucson city limits. Just kind of what happened is these construction workers were working in this trench and dealing with a lot of water infrastructure. All of a sudden, a pipe or a power line in some way, shape, or form falls down, electrocutes one of the workers in that trench, and shocked another. The difference between electrocution and shocking: electrocution leads to death, shocking leads to a wide variety of possible injuries. So the person that was shocked is in the hospital. He's going to be facing dozens of surgeries, but he's getting a lot of community support. But we were able to actually talk with the family of the person that was electrocuted and died, because they're dealing with it a lot as well. Yes, absolutely. So basically, to kind of lead up to this, a lot can happen in a week, right? The father whose son was killed, he was 20 years old, the child, that father reacted by just kind of didn't know where his grief could go, didn't know where to put his grief. So was very angry and was actually charged with a couple of crimes in his response, threatening some of the other construction workers, things like that. So I had an opportunity to talk with his father, the grandfather of the man who died, and the father of the man who was charged with these crimes. So it ended up talking with him and just kind of talked about his son's journey through this grief right now, because grief works in a lot of different ways, and it's important to have resources to be able to deal with those really, really difficult and impossible situations. So he said that he went to the crisis response center. He was put there, and he's doing a lot better now. He says that support system and that outlet for his anger, frustration, confusion about something that we're not going to know exactly what happens until maybe 6 months from now, when OSHA comes out with their investigation onto what exactly happened and what could have been done differently in this situation. So a lot is up in the air, but he's finding a way to, instead of channel that confusion and anger, find a way to do it effectively and find community in that way, which is really, really important and really cool. There's a lot of options out there for people who are dealing with these really, really difficult situations and handling their grief in a way that's healthy and effective and brings people closer together, especially in times that are so uncertain now.
No, absolutely. I mean, as a person who has also lost a child, that grief is unlike anything, and it's unique to each person that is continuing to experience the unimaginable, right? The idea is your child will never go before you, and when they do, and when they do it in such an immediate way that you can't prepare yourself for, there are lots of feelings of anger, and you feel righteous in your anger, right? Because you don't know where to go, and it is confusion, and it is dealt with and helped to channel through such productive ways of feeling understood in an unimaginable, could never imagine, could never understand kind of way, right? And so on a personal note, I know that anger of you don't know what to do, and you'd feel angry at the world. And then I know being known and feeling seen through resources like the Crisis Center, and being able to start working, one step in front of the other, day by day, and it makes sense, right? And so it sounds like not only is he getting help through the resources right here that's available in Southern Arizona, but also with a really supportive family, and I think that is key and critical to surviving your grief, because that is kind of how it feels, is you are surviving something that you never realized you would have to survive. There is no preparing yourself, and so sometimes you can understand, especially in men versus women, and how we all innately react a little differently. Sometimes anger comes out a little bit different in men versus women, and so I think that it's really fantastic that he has a supportive family to be able to understand what's happening, and was able to immediately connect him with a group to say, hey, we understand what's happening, and you understand that charges have to be brought, that things, you can't act like that, and not have consequences to your actions, but then to be able to come up and get help and understand and channel what's the deeper issue here. Let's try and figure this out. Let's get in community and get plugged in. That's amazing. And so later on in tonight's in the newscast, you're going to hear from the grandfather?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the really, really beautiful thing about all of this is realizing that there are options out there, because I think the way that things are structured, and I know you were talking a little bit about that gender disconnect sometimes. And so it's interesting. I spoke with the grandfather, and he said that his grandson was a lot like his son. And so and a lot of it was he was a very selfless person. And I think that his father dealt with that a lot. He was a very selfless person. He was ready to help, but when he needed help, that's a different story. And changing that mindset of, I'm ready to help other people, this isn't about me, to this is about me. How do I figure it out? Yeah. And dealing with that and getting over that barrier, I think, is really important. And so the grandfather had some incredible things to say. I seriously recommend anybody to go and watch it, because he is just the sweetest soul, and their family is figuring it out and dealing with it. And like you said, the response and hurting people is never okay. And he talks a little bit about how he's already starting to apologize to these families, take action for the things that he did, but then also take action in a positive way moving forward. So a really, really great story today. I'm really excited for people to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a whole difference between rolling up your sleeves and helping other people in a vulnerable situation, and being able to open up and be the vulnerable one that allows and accepts help. That is a completely different, feels like, side of our brain that we have to work that muscle to be able to be okay doing that.
Exactly.
And it sounds like he needs help being able to figure that out, as do so many of us, right? Mm-hmm. It's so much easier to be the superhero in the story than to be the one screaming for help and allow somebody else to come and help you along your way. Mm-hmm. But it's necessary, especially for a community that goes, one day you're the helper, one day you're the one that needs the help, and it goes back and forth. It sounds like he is learning that balance just like we all could. Catherine, thanks for coming and bringing us the update.
Yes, thank you so much, Devin.
Absolutely. From there, guys, we